Hello, my name is Victor Eduardo Yauri Merino. I'm a student of Universidad Técnica de Loja. In this case, I'm going to be doing an assignment for my English syntax class. Okay, the first thing I want to do is to show you my ID. Okay, unfortunately, the material these IDs are made of, I think is too block from cameras. Okay, as you can see, that's me. All right. Having done that, let's start with the assignment. Let me share the screen with you. Okay, so you can see what I did for the class today. And there we go. Pretty bigger. Good. English syntax. The assignment is about explaining the use of subject roles by Victor Villari. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to introduce what a subject is. What's a subject? Subject is the subject of a sentence is the person, animal, or thing that performs the action, right? Subjects, they do the action and they're always at the beginning. For example, example number one, James is driving a truck. James is the subject, he's at the beginning and he's doing the action. What action is that? He's driving a truck, all right? And there I got you a picture of James actually driving the truck. Another example that I got for you is the dog is running in the backyard. There, the dog at the beginning, and what action is actually doing is running in the backyard, right? I got you a picture of Scooby actually running in the backyard, right? So these are the subject. This is what a subject is. I want to go further than that. Let me explain subject roles. We have 4 subject roles. The first one, the doer. Doer is an animate being that performs the action. For example, in this case, Tom cooked lunch, all right? Tom did the action, which was cook lunch. Another example is experiencer. The experiences animate and usually human, the experiences an action. For example, I have Andrea felt so happy when she arrived home, all right? In this case, the subject experiences something. The subject in this sentence, Andrea, she experienced the happiness of arriving home. The action got her to experience something. Good. Arriving home, it made Andrea experience happiness. Andrea felt so happy when she arrived home. The next subject role, instrument. Inanimate entity that has an effect, right? Inanimate, intangible, they can have an effect on people, right? In this case, for example, I have his mother's words gave him the confidence he needed. His mother's words, intangible, inanimate entity, but it can have an effect. Okay, in this sentence, it have an effect. It gave him confidence. I'm sure the mom told him, I love you, you can do it, I trust you, stuff like that. The mothers usually tell their kids, tell their children to make them feel good, to give them confidence. So that was the case here. So we have an inanimate entity, they gave an effect on the subject, all right? They have an effect on him by giving him confidence. In other words, gave him the confidence he needed. That's an instrument subject role. And last but not least, we have the cursor. Inanimate or animate being that has the power to create an effect. Okay, the example that I have for you is the freezing temperatures kill the roses, right? Uh, the roses were killed. What caused that? What caused the roses of dying? It was the freezing temperature. So in this case, the subject caused something, caused the roses to die. The freezing temperatures caused the roses to die. All right. Uh, I want to share with you a story about Tom and Peter Parker. Not the Peter Parker you're thinking of. This is another Peter Parker. But first, I want to explain this, okay? In this story, we have the 4 subject roles. We have the doer, is going to be represented by the color blue. We have the instrument, which is going to be represented by the color green. But I gave an underline. I hope it's okay, because with the contrast with the screen and the others letters words, it can get lost. So I'm just give it an extra underline so you can identify when the instrument subject role is. The next one, red one, the causer is going to be represented by the color red, and experiencer is going to be by the color purple. All right, so let's go with the story. Tom found a dog in the street and he brought it home. Tom fed the dog with chicken stew, rice, and some potato salad. Tom felt so happy that he was helping this poor dog abandoned in the streets. Tom named the dog Peter Parker. Although Tom did his best to make the dog happy, Peter Parker missed its master and his former house. The absence of his master made the dog very sad. Peter Parker howled all night long. The howls kept Tom awake most of the night. The next day, Tom felt very sleepy and tired, but he went to work anyway. Although the issue with the howls the night before, Peter Parker made Tom very happy because he was a lonely man. Peter Parker looked out the window all day long trying to find its master. When Tom arrived home, Tom took Peter Parker to a walk in the park. In the park, Peter Parker saw its master and started barking in joy. Tom understood the situation immediately. Peter Parker was so happy to be with his master, and Tom was happy to see Peter Parker back with his master. The master's love made Peter Parker very happy. Tom had a good night's sleep that day. Every weekend, Tom visits Peter Parker and takes it for a walk in the park. Okay, uh, in this story, I'm going to show you the four subject roles. The blue ones, Tom found a dog. Okay, Tom is the doer because he did the action. He found the dog. Tom fed the dog. All right, he did the action of feeding the dog. That's why he says a doer. Tom named the dog Peter Parker. So that was the doer. Now over here, on the purple experiencer, okay, Tom felt so happy he was helping this poor dog. So he experienced happiness by helping this dog. So I put this subject role experiencer. Yeah, Tom named Peter Parker. Peter Parker missed his master and his former's house. This is an experiencer again because Peter Parker, the Tom did his best to the Peter Parker missed master. Okay, the absence of his master in his former house made Peter Parker missed it, and I'm sure he was sad about it. So I think this is an experiencer role. The absence of his masters make the dog very sad. Okay, this is the instrument because the absence of his master, okay, inanimate, made the dog very sad over here. So I put it as an instrument. Peter Parker, doer, howl all night long because he's doing the action, howling all night long. The howls kept Tom awake most of the night. This is a causer. Why was Tom awake all the night? Because the howls was what caused Tom to be awake most of the night. The next day, Tom felt very sleepy and tired, but he went to work anyway. This is an experiencer, okay? He experienced sleepiness and tiredness, all right, for the action of the howling. Peter Parker made Tom very happy, the causer. Why was Tom happy? Because Peter Parker caused that. He was although howling for Peter Parker made him very happy, okay? Being with Peter Parker caused Tom to be very, very happy. So that's why I put this as a causer. Peter Parker look out the window all day long, okay? He's a doer because he's doing the action. Tom took Peter Parker to the park. And again, it's a doer because he's doing the action of taking it to the park. In the park, Peter saw his master, okay, a doer, so in the master. Don't go to the situation immediately. Peter Parker was that's their name. Okay. The master's love make Peter Parker very happy. This is an instrument, okay? The master's love is the instrument that making Peter Parker happy. That's why I put a green as an instrument. And the last one, Tom visits Peter Parker and takes it for a walk in the park. Okay, that happens on the weekend. So Tom is doing the action. So this is my story. I hope you like it. This is the reference where I got the information from. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.